What if scaling your business did not require more hustle, more pressure, or even more sacrifice? Instead, maybe it asks you for better support, deeper alignment, and conscious structure. In this episode of The Expansion Room, I am joined by Joanna Zhang, founder of the Operations Genius and the creator of the world's first fractional VA service, which I was totally intrigued by. Joanna built a globally recognized operational model that helps entrepreneurs grow with less stress, more freedom, and greater integrity while also navigating a profound personal soul awakening of her own. So, if you're an entrepreneur or a conscious leader who wants to scale sustainably without burning out or losing yourself in the process, this conversation will shift how you think about success and what it truly requires. And so I've been looking forward to this conversation for quite some time. So let's get into it. Joanna, welcome to the expansion room.
Oh, thank you so much for the warm-hearted welcome. You set a tone of very peaceful vibe for this episode.
I try. I hope so. Thank you.
Great.
I love it. I love it. I would love for you to start with telling the audience a little bit about you, your origin story, and how you came to start the Operation Genius. And then we can go from there.
Okay, fantastic. It can be a long and short, but I think given the story you just mentioned before we had a recording about how you started this podcast, I probably start from there because I started to work with VA about 8 years ago. When I had my business as a financial planner as a profession, right? And then I had a lot of challenges, hurdles, of course, working with others because that was a personal journey of growing as well, right?
Mhm.
For navigation and management and leadership, those sort of things. So because I had so much challenges, and then I figured out a way to support my own business. Then I started to share with others, and that's how this business born. It sounds very like a calm now, but at that time, because you've set me tongue like that, so thank you. But at that time, I was like, ugh, struggling
Uh-huh.
and battling and forceful and trying a lot different things. But what my point is, a lot of time, like what you mentioned, when you started this podcast, is when you're hitting those challenging period and make you aware of something that you can create for yourself and for helping others in this world. So that's exactly my story is because I experienced some challenges and I figured out the solutions. It helped me, then I started to help others. Yeah,
Yep.
literally as that, as a summary. I hope that
There
helps.
you go. And that's how it works, or at least how I feel like it should work in the world, right? We're all working on ourselves in some way. And we all have to actually make money to survive as well.
Yeah.
And there comes a point of struggle. And for a lot of people, it could be when you start out or midway through your path where you start to realize you have to make a shift,
Mm-hmm.
that you have to either, if you've started a business and you're a solo entrepreneur, you've got to ask for help. You've got to get support, right? You can't continue to try to do everything yourself. It's never going to grow if you're doing everything yourself. And oftentimes entrepreneurs are wearing multiple hats. But we also have personal lives and things happen in our personal lives as well. And so if we're not doing the work on ourselves personally and in our lives, that's also going to affect the business. Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true. And exactly like how I started to work with VA was because I was dealing everything for myself and I was trying to fix website and social media, but I'm not really good at it to be honest. And then
either.
I tried so hard and like spent so many hours and the outcomes something.
Mhm.
And then I started to work with others. Oh, they use like very short period of time, and it surprised me. Oh, why don't I
Yeah,
delegate that? In our life, like what you're saying, it's not
yeah,
just around the work. Some of the chore, maybe some gardening, whatever it is, at around our lives, there's something that we're not really good at and that we don't enjoy doing. It
that's
doesn't mean
right.
that we escape from it. It's like we understand our strength and weakness
Mhm.
and leverage more on the strength part, and also for the weakness part we can with our own pace to grow, right? But we shouldn't really
Absolutely.
just put a whole thing on my shortcut and then feel like I wanted to make it longer and it become a strength and I will try so hard and still doesn't happen. Well, if we're looking at the resource to strategically resource it, it wouldn't be a very effective strategy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's how I started the
absolutely.
delegation. Yeah, literally.
Absolutely. And it's what you're sharing reminds me of one of my favorite books for business, The Big Leap, where the author, Dr. Gay, talks about your zone of excellence, which is the
Ah,
thing that you're good at. And
yeah.
you could probably do it in your sleep. You get paid really well for it, but it doesn't really jazz you up. They have also he talks about the zone of competence. You kind of do it okay, but you probably shouldn't. And then he talks about the zone of genius.
Genius.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And
Yeah,
your
that's
zone of
actually,
genius is what you
yeah.
should be doing in the world.
Exactly. I actually started this business. One of the reasons I actually left the financial planning because of that exercise. I didn't know that was from that book, but years ago I had a
Yeah.
business coach. Yeah, he actually let us run through those four areas. There was another area called incompetence.
Yes,
So
the incompetence, which you should never be in that zone.
so at the time I was doing a lot of like IT marketing was my incompetence totally.
Yes.
That's
For me,
why.
it's tech. Anything technology, I should not be doing that.
Right. So that was the first layer for me to delegate, basically, because I don't like it and I'm not good at it. So, yeah. But the reason for me to left the financial planning because of the exercise. When I did the exercise, I find out financial planning was my competence.
Uh-huh.
Competence, like what you mentioned, I can do it
Yeah.
well. But there's
Yeah.
something missing there, right? I don't love
Yeah.
that dearly. So that's how I decided that I don't think that's the profession I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. So and I
Uh-huh.
made decision to start over again. I was in the industry for 10 years, but I have to revamp it to start over again. Well, that's a
Yes.
big Lego and courage too, but I'm much more happier now, I would say, like because I'm a very creative person, but the financial planning is very logical. Yeah,
It is.
at the time while I was in the profession, I once spoke to a psychic on the phone, and she
Uh-huh.
said, "Oh my gosh, your world is full of gray color." What gray? And she said, "You're a very bubbly person. Where are your colors?" Oh,
Oh,
shocked. I said, "What?" I didn't. I didn't have my soul awakening at the time. I wasn't very aware. I was like going to the momentum like a robot. Like like that's what
uh-huh.
I need. That's what my profession is. That's what I want. Go with a lot of external validations, but I was ignored my inner calling, inner voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that happens to a lot of us because this is a world that, we do need to make money in order to live and hopefully live well. And so I used to work in the federal government, and I remember meeting and working alongside so many people who had passions for other things than what
Mhm.
we were all working at. And it
Yeah.
was funny because the people that I worked with, so I used to come to work, I had what they call in the government the alternate work schedule. And so you kind of choose your hours. And so I chose the 410s work schedule where you worked 4 10-hour days. And so I already had my private practice on the side even before I came to the federal government. So I came to work usually. at 6 a.m. in those last few years. But before that, it was 7 a.m. So somewhere between 6 and 7, I would get to work. And in the last department I worked in, there were two other people who also started at 6 a.m. And they also had passions that they liked outside of the workspace as well. And so we'd come in, we'd chit chat, and then we'd get right to work because we were all trying to get out of there by like 4 o'clock. So that we can get to the things that we really loved doing, you know?
Beautiful,
And I
beautiful.
think there's a lot of people like that, that the way they make money is not the way, is not the thing they love or that wakes them up.
That's so true. That's so true. I think that's a wake up call as well. Like when I started to listen to my inner calling and to embrace my creativity again, my creation naturally just become, valid and vivid. Yeah, exactly. Like a flourish. Exactly. That's beautiful. That's such a wonderful. And then another two layer, as you mentioned, excellence and genius. That's actually because my personal experience was like from that layer by layer. I have to say, during the past 8 years, it won't be like one night shifts. It was a gradual status and
Yeah.
the journey. That's a journey. I have to say, I think at the moment, I finally get to work on my excellence, gradually going to my genius zone. And then that's the ideal
Awesome.
stage. Yeah, by leveraging the resources around me with the plug and play team, I create this model. Yeah, so, and that's what we help
Wonderful.
clients now for that.
Yeah, I thank you for mentioning that because, yes, for mindset shifts from survival to sustainable growth or expansion, for a lot of people, it doesn't happen just like this, right? It is like these slow moving changes where you have these aha moment after aha moment after aha moment, and it all starts to build on itself until you look back 8 years and you go, oh,
That's
I'm
true.
definitely not that person anymore that I used to be.
Yeah, yeah, because I realized when we talk about aha moment, before I thought, oh, I got this wisdom, but however,
Yeah,
and then I forgot about it. after sometimes,
exactly.
after
Yeah.
some time I practice something, oh, they come back, aha, there's a different aha. And then I realize, in life, there's so many information out there now, even though
Yes.
with those words with sounds like, the truth or wisdom, but it
Yeah.
won't hit us straight away. And then I think everyone has our own pace or divine timing. I would say
We
because
do.
a lot of time those information are something on the information layer they land to our brain. So okay, I know this quote, I know this saying, I know what it means. Maybe, and then
Maybe,
I think
right.
I know. I think I know what it is. Yeah, and then but after some experience and the practice, it's like, that's what it meant. Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand now. We're going to understanding, and then we take action to do it and become embody it, become like, I am that.
That's
Now I
right.
choose. That's
Exactly.
the journey of from information, from cognition, and then to understanding to true wisdom. That's a journey. Life is a.
Absolutely.
Mm,
Absolutely. And we talk a lot about that on this show, where we talk about awareness and information not being the stopping point. You have to take that information and allow it to land and examine and settle into your nervous system because our nervous system will prevent us from taking action if it feels like it's too new, and then integrate that information and then embody it when you're ready to take that action. It has to go that way. Otherwise, yeah, we can read all the books we want and hire all the coaches we want, and if we're not doing that process of letting it become something that we embody, we'll never get there.
that's so true. But by talking about it, it remind me one scene of we often actually can hear different people say different, like probably same words, same
Yeah.
sentence, but you feel the difference.
Yeah.
And later on, I realized after, of course, I think deeper and analyze because I'm very sensitive to the energy always. But later on, I realized it's one thing very important is the integrity part. whether
Mm.
this person has truly won through that journey we just mentioned, become their own true wisdom, or they're just reading out the sentence. And that's totally two different kind of energy,
Yeah,
right? So
that is true.
and
Absolutely.
as by saying that, as a leadership, I realize leadership this world has been quoting everywhere. But my spiritual mentor actually, through the source, they gave me this message of the what's the true essence of leadership
Mm.
is to help everyone become the best version of themselves.
There you go.
And
That is actually what my teacher talks about.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
how we're living as living example first.
Yep.
And I actually just to reflect about the integrity part. A lot of time while in my younger years, I learned a lot of things. I felt like I know a lot of things. I talk about the things, but the tone was like teaching someone. I don't even know what it meant yet. So I started to
Ah,
teach. Of course, it won't land it to other, very groundly. Also, the other person will feel like, why do you teach me? You don't even do that yet,
right,
right?
right.
Yeah, exactly. So I reflect back over the past years when I mainly use my brain, but not really integrate as a wisdom. That was my pattern, and because of that, I had a imposter syndrome a lot,
Yeah.
very severe. Because I know on the surface I look confident, but internally I wasn't. I didn't believe in myself because I didn't really do it myself.
Mm.
But now, as one of my major life lessons is to do what I say what I do. I'm still practicing it on a different layer. But with
Mhm.
that, I find out my confidence is coming back more and more. It's more like reclaim my real power back.
There
And
you
that
go.
experience gave me the true there's another sentence I want to share with you because the one day I want to have a consultation and then my spiritual mentor connect with the source and give me one sentence that the true essence of self-love. We often talk about self-love, right? This word sounds very easy.
Yeah.
Again, and the true self-love is to really experience self-value. Like I used to block out a lot of unknown and a lot of challenges. I feel like why life throw this to me, but now I've realized if I don't allow myself to experience those, how can I love myself to experience my self value? Same as those, I allow myself to step into the situation to embody those information, become the true wisdom, and become a living example.
Mm.
Then I believe in myself more and more. And as in action, that's a self love. Mm.
It absolutely is. Self value. That is a perfect way to put that because I think too much in our modern society, we are not raising children to value themselves,
Yeah.
therefore, love themselves. Yeah,
Mm.
it's very true. Can you share a little bit about your own spiritual awakening that then led you to work in the world differently?
Right. I actually had this experience about 4 years ago.
Mhm.
At that time, I was experiencing financial hardship, marriage broke down, and business stagnant. I would say, I tried and something happened, something, and I'm not sure. So I was on a journey of at that particular point. I was wondering. I was confused to be honest because a lot of things happening to me, and I wanted to. I also felt I'm here for some reason, but I'm not really 100% sure to be honest. So it's not very clear. So at the time, at that divine timing, I get to know a spiritual mentor who has experienced her own self awakening about 4 or 5 times. She actually connect with the source, yeah, and then try to experience herself. And once again, because she personally experienced that, her vibe is very different when I talk to her because I know many spiritual mentors. It's no comparison here. It's just want to have the discernment to see, to feel the energy from another person, whether this person have the real stuff, right? And also
Yeah.
whether this person is coming from love and care, but not because they want to just earn money, sell the course or something. So
Right.
I started to engage with her to do my own soul awakening. So I that was a 3 days event at the time, and then there was a group of soul warriors. They call it soul warrior for the ones who has experienced that. So they are alongside to witness and then to grow together along this journey to supporting this person. So through that the journey, I went through the afterworld. I mean, energetically, and the one through the judgment hall, and to get to know about where it's a bit like, the NDE, near death experience. Before we
Yeah.
die, people have that experience, all the pictures flashing, and then to reflect. It's similar as that. It's just in a longer period, and that someone is guiding us to through that period. And
Okay.
after that,
Yeah.
yeah, after that, I get to know my soul mission, soul power, soul purpose, which clear about my confusion, what I'm here for. And then also the main thing is that open my, I think become more conscious, like be more aware. I'll put this way. So before I was like a bug in the room, like I don't know the direction. It's all dark. Now suddenly it's like a light from the crack from the sky started to have light coming in. So I started to be more aware and aware, and that's how I started that journey. And after that, of course, we call it soul awakening, and then after that, we have a soul ascension. Is the same mentor actually helping us to connect with the source, improve our signal? I would say, like from 1G, 2G, 3G to 5G, because
I like that.
higher wisdom is always there. They're always there. The divine team, they're guiding us. But a lot of time we too much blocking the brain and then just to
Yeah.
do our
Or
daily life with the
distracted.
moment. Yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
become more aware, I started to realize whatever I'm experiencing was lesson behind it. I try to go deeper and deeper, and I know now this is a endless journey of growth, and it looks easy, but it's very hard at the same time, because we're gonna face our true self. A lot of time is very painful. I used to be positive depression, I put that way, because I used to escape a lot of my emotions, especially the negative feelings, because I felt
Yeah.
those are not good for me. Of course sometimes other people's, now I know a lot of time I'm very sensitive. I can pick up other people's energies. Then instead of really clearing out, at the time I didn't know, I was just carrying all of them and find a way to digest and to find happiness again. And then I create the pattern of numbness and escape, because that was
Yeah.
too painful. So I find a way to numb myself. Say, I'm okay now. I cover it, and then I do my thing. I looks very positive and happy outside, but at night I often cry hardly in my heart. Like I put this way. Before the soul awakening, I was like like a knight. With a cape, but it's broken. And then I was
Okay.
fighting on the field, and my heart is bleeding, and I still by myself. I a very clear vision before my soul awakening. How painful was that? Like I was so cruel to myself, I have to say. And then after the soul awakening, now I'll gradually, because I put more and more to my own cup, change my priority. I put this way. I used to be people pleasing, look after others. Now I understand, if my cup is empty, I can't help anyone, and myself is draining out too. So after that
Absolutely.
process and the practice, I visualize another, like a bubbly little fairy, with wings. These wings are getting bigger and bigger, but to start with, I can start to fly. And my heart is like a shining box. So started to have a light coming out. It's endless. It's like overflow. So I can totally visualize the two difference energetically
Yeah.
already. Yeah, so but in the 3D realm, of course, we got to, like I was saying, we can feel the energetic difference what we embody in our daily life. Like what you're saying, you
Yes.
combined spiritual and the daily life business together, practice on the things turn by turn,
Absolutely.
and become our true wisdom. Mm.
That's right. You cannot leave your spiritual self out of the work that you do in the world. I know that most of us were trained to do that, even as a therapist in the mental health world, at least originally when I was trained. Many psychologists and other kinds of therapists were trained to leave spirituality completely out of the room with clients. I waited to find a a degree where I could bring in both. And
Oh.
so my degree, my master's degree was in pastoral counseling so that we could invite the client to bring in both. Right? That's the way it should be in therapy. But I didn't always do that for myself. I still left my own spirituality out of my work for a long time until it clicked one day that that's not, that doesn't make any sense. You're doing the same thing.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, the bringing together of the whole self makes it so much more of a rich experience. So you've gone from like numb and depressed to vivacious and just lit up for what it is that you express in the world or that you bring to the world.
That's so true, and I'm so congratulate to you about that. And that reminds me about that topic about why we're here and what is world like for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
We are literally a spiritual being in the human realm, right? Like, not the other way
Yes.
around. But initially, when I did my soul awakening, because some of the soul brothers or sisters, they can visualize, they say your soul has been squashed by you to a corner. Normally, in our
Mm.
soul, it's outer our body, right? It's like bigger than ourselves. It's like a shiny, but my soul was like was so sabotage myself. I thought I loved myself at the time. So, oh my god, I go for travel, drink, having fun with my
Uh-huh.
friends. I'm happy. You're so cruel to yourself. So what do you mean?
Ooh.
I even abandoned my own soul. How cruel
Okay.
is that? Because of that, I disconnect with my true self. I was living like a robot, feeling all the voice outside, but inner empty, really.
Yeah.
Because I
Mm.
disconnect with myself, disconnect with source. That was a very painful a period.
Mhm.
Doesn't look like it, but I know how hard it was. Mm.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. And so after you experienced your own soul awakening, how did your philosophy on work and accountability shift in what you were offering to the world? And how did you start to realize like rigid operational models don't really work for real world conditions in the entrepreneurial space?
Oh, right. Okay. The first question you said, how did I combine it? I
Mhm.
realized one thing now because we go back to the question why we're here for. They have an analogy from source. It's like earth is like a school. It's
Yeah.
like we're carrying some karma. We call it karma. In Chinese, there is a word sounds like homework assignment. Literally, it's similar as that. Like it's something
Huh.
like we learn something when our soul was created. We actually learned something before we came to different realm to really practice, on it.
Hmm.
But a lot of time we either didn't study hard or forgot about it, or whatever it is, or physics connections, whatever it is, all different reasons. We
Yeah.
lost the track, and in some homework we failed, or maybe we did wrong, and we carrying those assignments with us and just learn it again. Basically, we
Yeah.
carry all those package of the assignments coming here to do those tasks again. If we look at this way, we literally whatever we do in our life is like doing those assignments, like literally as that. I realized that because one day I was experiencing, before I was experiencing lack of control, this lesson in the relationship. And my mentor
Uh,
mentioned, she said, Joe, if you can learn this level of control, it will help your leadership enormously. I didn't have a connection there that I was experiencing financial hardship. What's leadership? I didn't make a connection at all. But literally, because my soul mission is so powerful, it is around the leadership and teamwork. That's another topic we can talk later. And then I just practice that through the relationship, focus more on myself, love myself, lack of control, respect others, decisions and free wills and the lack of expectation, all those layers I practice in the relationship.
That's right.
Surprises happened because my dynamic within myself has changed. I look at that particular soul has taught me the lesson I apply to every other soul around me, like my families and teammates and workmates, partnership, whatever it is.
Yes.
My team dynamic changed.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it is. I learned one thing from somewhere I can apply to my entire life. Then I realized, oh, those assignments has such great power. Like if I learn that and I can apply it, and then now literally business become my playground. To be honest with you, it doesn't mean that I don't take seriously. I don't take responsibility. It's not like that.
Right.
Oh, I would use this way, like a God's plan, my effort. I put this way.
There you
Is
go.
I use my effort to do everything, but God's have a divine plan and source have divine plan. Then we just practice our skills, do those assignments. Oh, of course, we can also choose don't worry about it, next life. Whatever. We all have our own choice, right?
That's right. We are in the dynamic of choice on this planet for sure.
And that's how the source and God give us free will, right?
That's right.
And the free will is that we got to bear our own consequences. I'm not sure whether you believe in reincarnation or past life and this life.
I do actually, yes.
Oh, right. So I carry those assignments for quite a while with those patterns. And even my spiritual mentor mentioned, reminds me, said, forget about your past life. Everything your current you is the most updated version of the whole package, basically. Life. All those things happen in my life since I was born till now. All those patterns was carrying from before till now. Until I face it, realize it, learn it, solve it, move on, upgrade, it will happen again.
Upgrade, yes. Yes, it's like an operating system, right? It's essentially we are kind of like operating systems. I made a post some months ago on social media because it dawned on me one morning. I kept resisting the update on my cell phone. Apple, does these updates and they'll say, and I have one on my phone right now. We will update your operating system tonight. When you plug it in, of course. And I would resist it every single time. And it dawned on me, I'm like, oh, am I also resisting my own spiritual upgrades from time to time? Just like I resist the Apple upgrade.
Oh my God, that's a great reflection. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because for me, my pattern is remind me later.
I like that. Remind me later. That was me. That was me for a long time. Remind me later. It's fine. I'll get to it. It'll happen.
That's what it remind me because for my own journey, I have the pattern of escape sometimes, like, oh, just leave it for now. Let me just do something else. And don't face the true challenge. But I think just a big reflection on that. What we actually do, remind me later or resistance, probably a few things around there. One thing is that if we don't realize importance, probably we won't do it. The second thing is that we always think that we have another chance to do it.
Yes,
right? And
you put it on.
And there's an unconscious fear as well that what if I do it, something happen? Like there's a few different layers. Yeah. So as a practice, maybe this is an example we can give to the audience is that in the daily life, like little thing upgrade our phone. Maybe because it's so awakening the spiritual, we just a phone. But now it's applied to our life. Right? The pattern recognition, what I'm doing behind it. So that's literally how I combine the spiritual world with my business now. Whatever happened to me now, I pause to reflect what it is exactly behind it. Yeah, so there's another change for me. Like, I actually have to say I have actively ended many cycles or patterns of myself. I have to give my credits because celebration is one of my licenses too. I I forgot all my things all done. Yeah, but looking back, like what you're saying, I'm no longer that version anymore. I'm upgrade to 3.0, whatever.
That's
Like,
right.
yeah, we got to recognize our own growth. Well done.
Absolutely. You have to. You have to, because it is happening. It's like you can look back now over these 8 years and see that you are not the same person you were 8 years ago. I know
Yeah.
I am not the same person I was when I was in the pandemic and realizing, oh my goodness, there's a shift that I need to make, right, in the work that I offer in the world, and therefore the person that I am in the world. Right. But I'm also still not even the same person I was 10 years ago. So just if we allow ourselves to be open, we allow ourselves to upgrade, to shift, to step into the new identities that are available for us. But it's funny, even with our resistance sometimes with updating our operating systems, they will eventually force the upgrade. And sometimes life forces the upgrade.
Yeah.
I've met so many people who have held on to, for instance, full-time jobs that they hate,
Ah.
cannot stand either their boss or the work or the environment, whatever it is, but they do not want to change those jobs because maybe money or the benefits or the location, there's something holding them there.
Hmm.
And there's something already in their mind they know they should be doing. Maybe it's a business, maybe it's a different career path, and they lose that job. They get
Hmm.
fired, or there's downsizing or whatever, and they're forced to reckon with the fact they didn't need to still be there, you know, and that it's time to actually step into something new. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And nowadays, yeah, that's exactly like I realize the divine intervention as a protection. Actually, yeah, I used to think, why you give me this task, so hard. But now
Yes.
I realize that it's totally from love because one of my life lessons is about surrender. I thought a surrender is about you say that I do whatever you say. And my previous pattern is I probably from surface I'm very obedient, but inside of my heart, why? I can see this.
Why? Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I saw that there was a like a scenario from a drama, and the guy was looking at the script from the heaven or script from someone. Said, why? 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 And the last thing, oh, that's why.
Uh-huh.
Exactly like that. So it's like I experienced many things at the beginning. I didn't understand why, but now after so many experiences, I realized a lot of things totally different what I thought. Like what you're saying, I went through the full course, achieved the things I want. At the end, I thought, oh, that's not exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Like I went through so many experiences of that, and then I think the source of God guiding us through that period or the experience to make us realize to learn the true lesson from it. And everyone has different learning style. I would say, my I used to have this style to hit here, hit there until I learn the true lesson. But now, after the surrender, become effortlessly. So it doesn't mean there's no more challenges. There could be harder challenges. But now, because I know the intention from the other end is not punishment, is not a testing, whatever it is, maybe a little bit test, but from love, though, for us to grow and protection, then I will just truly embrace it. Even though the
Yeah.
journey can be hard and then the painful, but as my spiritual mentor mentioned, the true source is the pain is inevitable in the life, right? As a human being, but the suffer is our choice.
That's right.
So yeah, so I've learned that. So I started to big playground, like welcome the challenge, right? Embrace it and learn from it and upgrade. That's about it.
Absolutely. And
Mm.
so that you're really talking about like how inner transformation reshapes your life, but it's also how it reshapes how you lead, how you build a business, how you engage with people, partners, all of that.
Totally. And I would believe the only bottleneck in a business, or not even business, maybe even life, is ourselves.
Always.
Like the
We
one
get in our
resist.
own ways all the time.
Yeah. But by recognizing it,
Oh.
I think first of all, accept it is great. We know that we are having the pattern and allow us to not be that way. At least then we make decision, right?
Yeah.
Which way we want to go. And then take courage and take action. Yeah, I think there's a few steps. If we follow that, life can be different because we are already a different version.
Absolutely. So now, when you think about where you are today in your life and in your work, what does sustainable success actually look like when it's built on alignment, when it's built on real support?
That's a beautiful question. Sustainable growth. I used to think sustainable means a steady, no change, not much change.
Uh
But
huh.
now they changed because at the time my definition about sustainable is about security.
Mm.
But now I realize we're always safe. No matter what we experience, we're always safe.
Yeah.
So that remove that definition. So my definition has been upgraded. This
Okay.
sustainable growth. Actually, it's a great question. I haven't thought about it yet. Let me
Mhm.
connect now. Have a feel out.
Yeah. Sustainable growth. Yeah.
I think it's about a state of always being the now
Mm.
and being the answer, becoming the answer, living as the answer every single moment. Then that's the true sustainability, which means infinity, unlimited possibility.
I like it. Unlimited possibility because you are in the now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's no longer looking at how many years later was
Mm-hmm.
it sustainable, because I used to attach to that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
By
I
attach,
definitely, me too.
yeah,
Future focus. I was always future, way out ahead of myself all the time.
it's great to have a vision, right? Like
Yeah.
it's good to have vision. However, if I attach to the result to think about sustainable growth means by which year I achieve how much
Yes.
dollar, what how much.
You're like, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, yeah. Once we actually learn the lesson about the goal setting about that, right? And the spiritual source tell us about if there's nothing wrong with the goal setting. However, if we attach to the point too much, which means we have ignored or eliminated all other possibilities. We
That's
think
right.
that
We
that's the only
so,
success definition.
so
That's
have.
only one point.
That's
So
right.
now I started to have an open book. All right. So I think as far as I'm in this stage and every single moment as being definition of every single moment becoming the answer,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy. First of all, I'm very happy. Be that state, right? And when I'm happy, I love myself. And this love is endlessly flows through to others and can create that ripple effect.
Mm.
And for me, that's a true sustainable. Like it's always from within, and that love is sustainably flow out. For me now, that's sustainable growth and success.
Absolutely. And for our listeners, what are the signs maybe that a business has outgrown its current systems?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah, yeah. What are the signs that maybe their business or a business that they know of has maybe outgrown its current systems?
Oh, you mean the business grow too fast, but the business owner haven't catch up? I
Right.
know.
It could be that the business owner hasn't caught up. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh wow, we call it a good problem. A lot of people say, "Oh, my business is growing so fast, I can't catch up with it." Oh, that's a good problem. A
That
lot of
could be a
business.
good problem. Yeah. Or it could also be, I guess, their systems. The business is growing, but the systems that they have are not really keeping up kind
Mm,
of like when a solopreneur is trying to do everything. Because I've seen
yeah.
and I've experienced it where I'm by all external measurements, my business is successful, but I was doing everything myself. So therefore, I am exhausted.
Mm,
So that could be
exactly.
a problem too.
That goes back to the previous question. So if the business owner, like what you're saying, choose to do that and success according to the book or status quo, but internally drained off, would
Yeah,
that be called sustainable growth? That's a wake up call.
that
If
is.
we have that kind of feeling like a drain and no more energy and can't really pick up, how long can we keep that for?
That's right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So thanks for navigating the topics of this part because we talk about a lot about spiritual, a lot about feminine energy, about flow, about creation. And now because we have a masculine energy in our energy as well, now
That's
it's
right.
about balancing act. When we actually wholeheartedly with the abundance to create and be happy with ourselves with love, we got to have our boundary,
Yeah.
right? And our system. I think system is a bit like a boundary and a shape to
Yes.
structure it. The structure is supporting our creation. I put this way. Yeah. So that's from my experience because that was my personal experience of my leadership style transformation. When I
Mhm.
started working with the at the very early stage, I was because at the time I was controlling freak. I haven't learned the leg of control. Yeah, I'm still in the process. I have to say different layers, but I was like a title leader. Like I'm the owner, I'm founder. I give it this to you. Do what I say
Yeah.
my way, highway, like that. And then because of the attitude, I always have a blame and criticism. But now I realize at that time, at that stage, that version of myself have a lot of blame and judgment for myself because I
Mhm.
don't have that for myself yet. How can I give to others all the tolerance, acceptance, right?
Yes.
So I understand that was my stage, and then gradually, because of that kind of communication ways and the management style has causing a lot of conflicts, and then a lot of turnovers and unhappiness, and then the result is not good. Then I realized I need to make some changes. That was before my soul awakening too, and then I started to go to the other extreme. From this extreme, go to the other extreme. I become people pleasing. Like I want to support
Uh-huh.
why I care about you. What do you need? Like a wholehearted giving, and because I experienced the other extreme. So, but the causing problem is that I when I give a lot of opportunities, give others, my boundary got stepped. So I lost my balance again. Now I'm actually balancing myself as a spiritual leader now because I learned both sides. Now I know that's not either way is not the way. Then I started to balance both compassion and boundary.
Okay.
Especially after soul awakening, after practice leg of control, after focus on my self love, more and more boundary. Yeah, after self love, I truly have a stronger boundary because I started to finally respect my own feeling. That's how I wanted to be treated. I know what I want now. So because of that, I started to balance.
Yeah.
Then it's more like a structure coming into this loving place to support it for the sustainable growth. Otherwise,
I
if
love it.
overloaded love, we can be probably allow others to abuse us kindness, right?
Hmm.
Or too rigid and to kill the creativity and the growth.
That's
So
right.
if life is a balancing act for itself, and now I know that, and now I understand why my spiritual mentor always mentioned truth is a spectrum. It's no right or wrong, good or bad. It's a
Right.
spectrum
Yeah.
with a balancing act. So
That's right.
we are more practicing about balancing things. The system, as you mentioned, is literally another side of the business we need to kick in and as a balance. Either side is too strong can have a different consequences. I wouldn't say good or bad. It's just different consequences, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And can you speak to what a fractional VA is?
Okay.
for the
I don't.
audience. When I first saw it, I was like, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I was running the model about 8 years until 2024. We went to Stevie International Business Award, and all the judges look at the model because no one's doing that. So they gave us a term as fractional VA service. Then, then
Oh,
I use, and now fractional become more and more popular. I
yeah,
think because the
yeah,
traditional rigid model is like a full time, part time people block a time, like that's who I am. But on the other
right.
side, they're doing something else. But now I think this model has created possibility and a flexibility for everybody to focus on the genius, do the things they love in a balancing act, right?
Yeah.
At least, I'll give you an example. Maybe that's too wishy-washy. Give you a true example. What does it mean, fractional years? For example, normally a business owner coming to say, oh, I need someone who can do website development and also bookkeeping and also with a great design eyes, like I need a perfect person. To be honest, it's very hard to find this kind of person.
Yeah.
Perfect. No one's perfect. Even though now the EA is great. EA are very has a variety of the skills, but EA has their own limit too, right? So they are generalists at different areas. But if you wanted to go dev deeper, they have shortfalls of the skills there. So so normally, like traditional model, if you go to a agency or a VA agency, let's say they have a full time or part time model, and nowadays I think that's still the main thing because
Yeah.
I can understand from business point of view as a VA model, it's simple, easier for the business to operating. For us, for example, coming to us, you don't need to log in full time, part time now. We can find a 3 person structure in the customized team and support you within that 10 hours. For example, if you only have 5 to 10
Wonderful.
hours. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why we call it fractional. So it's like we take a fraction of this person's expertise and time, and this person, and structure together, flexible. People call it casual, but it's not totally casual because we have a customized solution as well. Because I'm part of the team as operational strategist to help them have a clarity and a priority to get things done. Yeah, I hope that
I
answers your
think that
question.
sounds amazing for the very small business owner, right? They it might just be them, or maybe they have one other employee and they
Yeah.
want exactly what you've described.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So we found we actually contribute a lot more to the solopreneur, as you mentioned. Even though they started to work with the EA or some VAs, they
Mhm.
still have some gaps here and there. But another group, because of that, are the B2B service. Like we know some business owners, they started to have their own team. They
Yeah.
often find in the team there's a gaps here and there.
Yeah.
Even after AI, there's still gaps here and there. They're not ready to hire another full time, part time, right? So the traditional model, like a full time, part time, the rigid model, like what you're saying, can't solve this problem. However, our team, we call it plug and play. Plug and
Okay.
play because they are all specialists in different fields. They don't
Right.
need to get trained how to do certain things. They're better than us, to be honest. A lot of areas. We just need to let them know how our business run, right? So, but literally, but saying that, it's our business owners' responsibility to make the decision on the directions and the structure. All right. Of course, we don't have to be perfect because a lot of things when we start to roll out the team, when we're working with the team together, we can gradually shape it, develop it. But without it, it will be just like, if let's say water, it's just water. But with that boundary and system, it become a river, and it can become a
Mm.
sea because there's a boundary and a system structure there to support. We can start it to flow. We can start for otherwise it's like water here, the splash, 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 finish, drain out. Yeah.
Exactly. That is perfect. I hope, thank you for that. I hope there are people listening who go, oh, that is something exactly what I need. Because it's so needed in the solopreneur, soul-led entrepreneurial space where people are still doing, and There has been a rise since the pandemic in the United States of people leaving traditional workforce, maybe because they
Mhm.
lost their job or they're
Yeah.
choosing to leave and to go into entrepreneurship. And
Yeah.
it's something like 30 million people right now
Wow.
that are
Mm.
trying their hand at being a solo entrepreneur since the pandemic. And I'm like amazed because I mean, I've been doing this since, since 20, to 23 years now. But I'm like, oh, there's this many more people who have joined me in this effort of not having a boss.
Become your own boss, basically.
Exactly. So this is
Yeah.
so wonderful to know that this is an opportunity that they can check out.
For
Yeah.
sure. And I think nowadays I look at things again, there's no right or wrong, good or bad.
Yeah.
And I think it's ultimately everyone's choice, right? Whether you really wanted to pursue that inner passion, like what you're saying, I'm working 9 to 5, but still have that passion.
Yeah.
It's possible now. But
Yeah.
imagine that if you're running your 9 to 5 and you're doing something on the side and you have to hire full time, part time,
Yeah.
where do you get revenue for that? I can't even support myself on that. That's how actually holding a lot of entrepreneur back is that I can't even support myself here. How can I? But they treat it as expense. But think this way that if now there's resources there, you can leverage their expertise to help you to relieve your plate step by step and it help you to focus on your genius, the high value work. Would that be a great investment,
It,
right? Into our time and
exactly.
energy. Yeah, to live the life we want. Mm.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, well, thank you, Joanna. It has been such a joy to talk to you today. Thank you for sharing your experience as well as your expertise with the audience. How can people find you and reach out to you?
Right. I think the easiest way, if you use LinkedIn, is easy to find me there. Just put my name, Joanna Zhang. And if
Oh,
there's multiple, just put operations. Yeah. And connect
perfect.
me. I love to connect with you all and collaborate, whatever area, like, because for me, I look at this word now as co-creation piece.
Hmm.
Even when we with God and source, we're co-creating some experience together.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
matter where you at, what you want, and what you want to do, we can always find some touch point. If I can't help you now, I may know someone else who can offer some help, because
Absolutely.
networking is my superpower. Networking, teamwork, leadership. Yeah. So I'm just literally like my toolbox. I have this toolbox and I know my destiny. I'm staying there every moment. Play with it. It's like have
Perfect.
fun. Play,
Have
boy.
fun with
Yeah,
it. Absolutely.
have
This is
fun.
supposed to be not such a hard life. We are supposed to tap into play and joy.
Yeah, yeah. It can be
So I
difficult.
love that. I
Yeah,
love
when we
that.
play a game, there can be difficulties, right? But
Mhm.
but we actually that kind of difficulty when we learn and overcome, that's true happiness
Yes,
exists. Yeah. So hope you all find the
absolutely.
true inner happiness. Mm.
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this conversation. And to my audience, if this conversation resonated with you, I invite you to reflect on where you may be carrying way too much alone and what you could use in reference to support that will allow you to really expand as a person and in your business. Growth does not have to happen by yourself. And it requires clarity as well as alignment. So really take a moment to reflect. And if it feels right for you to reach out to Joanna, definitely do so. And to those of you who have enjoyed this episode and many other episodes, I would encourage you to subscribe on whichever platform you listen or watch, because that really helps the podcast to grow, and share it with someone who who needs it. And until next time, I'll see you all back here in the expansion room. Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you are ready to move beyond survival into greater alignment, greater clarity, and transformation, I'd love to support you. An alignment call is where that journey begins. Take a moment, click the link in the show notes, and schedule your alignment call with me. And let's explore what's possible for you together.